Hello, Cryptid Nation. This is Chief G from Calico Adventures, and this is the CRR Show. This one's going to be a little different. We're going to be going through talking about a couple of very important things for searching out and hunting cryptids. Next up, we've got Big Boy Rabbit.
Oh, hey everybody, it's Big Boy Rabbit. I'm from Mississippi Adventures and Mississippi Milsurf. Hey, check this out. It's the boss man, Wolf.
What's up, everybody? It's Wolf Steel from mid-Missouri. Warning you now, this is going to be a long one. Now, sending it over to our one of our head researchers, Murphy.
Hey guys, welcome back.
Now, today I am pleased to announce a new guest, but not a new face to CRR. He's been around since the founding, Mr. Moose.
I got lost on the way here.
All the
right,
way
so-
from Canada.
Yeah, we're going international, ladies and gentlemen. Now, today we are going to be going over a post from the r/dogman community on Reddit. Yes, the link will be in the description so you can find it yourself. It is from user Freehorse, and this is search party basics / planning a dogman scouting party. But this will go for pretty well. But the most important part, you have to get along. If you don't, then it's going to be a miserable however long you're out there. And why can't you go alone? That's how you die. Point blank to the point. Up next, we're going to have Mr. Rabbit going over the legal ramifications as well as the medical ramifications. Rabbit, take it away there, good buddy.
Yeah, sure. So whenever you're out cryptid hunting, you always have to make sure that you're adhering with the local laws and regulations with wherever you are. If you're on private land, make sure that you get permission from the landowner or the leasee, or maybe get a lease yourself and pay them a little whatever to use it for however long you're going to use it for. And if you're going to be doing any trapping, make sure that you get the proper trapping license and follow the proper trapping regulations of the area. When you're toting firearms, just bring antiques. Honestly, it's just you can anywhere. Anyway, but if you want to carry other than antiques, always make sure to first have your concealed carry. Go ahead and get that if you don't have that already, and make sure to get the enhanced sticker for it. And always pay attention to the reciprocatory states of your state whenever you're traveling through state lines with your weapons. And don't bring anything to another state that isn't allowed there, even though you're allowed to have it, because they won't like it. On to the safety portion. You're always going to have to make sure you have 360 eyes. Make sure you have at least two people, and if there's only two people, one of them's always checking the back. Hopefully more than two people, up to three people, to keep 360 security at all times, because these things move a lot faster than we can, and they can see a lot better than we can. So we need to have every advantage that we can when we're out in the field. Over to the medical side. You're going to want to have tourniquets on all of your team members, because even if the cryptid doesn't attack you, you could fall and you could have tree stobs and other things like rocks slice arteries or go through legs, and you're going to want to tourniquet that out so you can casevac them immediately. Also want to have things like wound packing gauze. And alcohol is always a good thing to have to flush wounds whenever you trip, fall, get splints. And ace bandages is always a good thing to have in the aid pack, so that if you have sprains or breaks, you can get it nice and stabilized and get them casefaced out of there. Always make sure to bring plenty of hydration packets, not just water, but things to purify water, and then hydration packets, lactated ringers, and saline in 500 and 1500 milliliters. Make sure to bring a 16 gauge along with a 22 gauge, because that 22 gauge, whenever your team gets dehydrated, the veins are going to be really, really hard to get into, so that smaller needle is going to be easier to get fluids into them, and get that D50 as well to make banana bags at D500, and some thiamine B1 and B12 to add in whenever they go down from dehydration. If you have any other questions, feel free to @ me in the comments at Big Boy Rabbit 420. I'm going to pass this on over to Chief, that's going to talk about some of the camera equipment you would want to bring.
So, most cryptid hunting, for some reason, is done in the middle of the night, which we don't see very well in the middle of the night. Cameras don't see very well in the middle of the night. So if you're going to do that in the middle of the night, you're going to want high-powered lights. We're talking at least 700 lumens, preferably more than that for any flashlights. Some of the equipment that you can bring includes a GoPro. GoPros are pretty decent with good lighting for capturing, whatever you find out there. You can just strap it on your chest. You can strap it on your head, helmet. They've got helmet straps for that. You can also use, I've actually done testing. That was the first video I put up of a DJI action camera versus a GoPro Hero 8. Newer GoPros might be able to compete better with the DJI Osmo Action 4. But I don't have one of those to test that. Something else you're going to want is an IR illuminator. Probably a high-powered one. You're going to be good equipment. It's good. The right tools are going to cost you money, which is one of the reasons we have not gone out and actually tried to find anything. But yeah, a good IR illuminator, you're looking at $400, $500, $600 easily. The action cameras will be able to pick that up. Other things you could look for is a digital camera like Nikon, Canon, Sony. For that, what you'd be looking at is, at minimum, a 50 millimeter lens with as low of an f-stop is what it's called. I can't remember the specific definition of what that is. Basically, it's how small the lens will close, how much of the lens will close, so how much light will enter. So the more light, obviously, the better you're gonna be with that. That's why a lot of times with cryptid videos, people are zooming in with their cell phones 10x, and it's all pixelated. Nothing's lit up because they're pointing it at a dark spot with another darker spot and say, hey, there's a face. No, that's a stump. Quit it. But yeah, so I mean, if you have a high-powered flashlight, you can get that out there. At least 2x is the most I would ever do with a cell phone in order to see something out there. It's not going to be looking like you're 10 feet away, but it'll be a lot better of a silhouette or like body shape of a cryptid to be able to figure out what that is, especially with a high-powered flashlight or torch for people overseas. If you have an IR illuminator, that's not necessarily needed. The cameras will pick that up. I don't know exactly how well that will work because we have not tested that. But it will work far better with that setup. You can get a camera rig for your action cameras. You can attach a boom mic microphone holder attachment to that, and that should allow you to put the flashlight onto the camera rig as well. That way you're not trying to hold a camera rig and camera and a flashlight in two separate hands. It's all on one thing. And as far as the Nikons or anything digital cameras, like which camera should I get? You're going to want a full body camera. That's a 35 millimeter sensor. That's what you're going to be looking for. The pixels does not matter nearly as much because you can have cell phones with 160 pixel cameras, but their cameras are just end up being garbage when you zoom in. It does not matter nearly as much as the actual size of the sensor. So when you're looking at cameras, look for the largest sensor size. That's why the DJI Action 4 outperformed the GoPro Hero 8 is because of the larger sensor size. in terms of picking up light. And that's really the crux of it, is getting as much light as possible on your target or subject that you are filming or shooting. But that's the same thing, right? Next up, Wolf. Who do we have next?
Let's bring in Moose to talk weaponry with you guys.
All right. Where do we want to start?
We could add a caveat of that we did talk about this before, like the overall optimum setup, and we were looking at the size of the ammunition used. We were looking at stopping power, distance. We were looking at magazine sizes, and I fell on the 10 millimeter and as a sidearm, and the 458 SOCOM for a rifle. But what do you think, Moose?
All right, we'll start with pistols, because long guns, that's going to be a whole different animal, and that's going to depend a lot on where you are and what you're going after. So, just from personal experience, I hunt elk a lot. I'm always in bear country. I always have either a 44 mag or a 10 mil on my hip for bears. But those two rounds are probably the most common for personal defense against wildlife. That's a ton of energy that you're putting down range, so really hard to argue with that. I usually lean more towards the 10 mil because of capacity, semi-auto, I can get more rounds off quicker.
Let's talk close to mid-range there, Moose. Shotguns, what are your thoughts on bringing those on?
Oh, absolutely. Shotguns are going to be one of the things you spend as much as you really want to. You can get something super basic like a Maverick 88 from Mossberg, load it with double-aught buck, 1 ounce slugs. Not a whole lot in North America that you can't take down with that. Now, if you're someone like Rabbit who has an addiction to 10 gauge, there's a ton of just crazy loads you can get for that. I think their double-aught buck load is like 18 pellets as opposed to 9 for 12 gauge, something like that.
42 pellets for $4. It kills everything.
There we go.
Everything in that direction dies.
A 10 gauge, 10 millimeter, that's easy to remember.
The main caveat that 10 gauge is there's no light recoil loads for it. If it says 10, you're going for a ride.
Unless you're using an auto loader, because they are sweet as molasses, baby.
Now, yeah, I know me and Murphy, we both have the plan to break out the 12 gauges for that. I'll probably have first couple rounds double-aught buck and the last 3 to 4 being 1 ounce slugs, and I'm pretty confident on what those will do.
Yeah, I'm gonna do double-aught buck, slugs, and then like 1 dragon's breath.
Why are you getting dragon's breath?
Yes, dragon's breath.
Because if lead doesn't kill it, fire's the next step.
If nothing else, we can have it on fire, and it can't see very well if it's on fire.
Breaking news, bunch of idiots looking for Bigfoot start a forest fire.
I mean, that could happen because of me anyway, but I mean, continue.
Now on to the fun part. Let's talk long guns. Let's talk range.
Yeah, longer range. I know, Wolf, you talked about wanting to use a 5.56 just for familiarity with it.
Yeah, I'm not really familiar with a lot of rifle rounds, but 30-06, 5.56, and 243 are like my go-to rounds as far as hunting like deer and shit.
Yeah, and 5.56, what you're going to lose in stopping power, you're definitely making up for in velocity and ammo capacity. Just, I don't care what it is, you dump 30 rounds of 5.56 into it from an AR, something's going to happen. And 30-06, they do make autoloaders for it now. You can also get those in a lever gun. That's a lot to be putting down range at one time, too. 243, can't say I have a ton of experience with that, so I'm not going to say much on it.
They have AR-10 long actions and 30-06 with high-capacity magazines. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's Nemo Arms that makes one of those.
And go to Mississippi Milsurp, and I have the other manufacturer of the AR long action. I just can't remember what it is.
Or if you really want to get crazy with a long action AR, Nemo Arms and Falcor Defense do make one in 300 Win Mag, which, holy crap.
Is the one that I have.
There's also one, I think, in 4570 came out a few years ago.
It's mine's made by Spartan Arms.
Yeah, and semi-auto 300 Win Mag, that's a lot.
It kills bears good. And that's why we have
And then
medics.
there's me just using a 4570 lever action. But, like, with 4570, like, what you lose in capacity, you're getting back in knockdown power. That's a big slug.
Yeah, I know one of the things we talked about was some type of big bore AR-15, so 50 Beowulf or 458 SOCOM. I'd more lean towards the 458 because I've been able to find a lot more real world data on that. 50 Beowulf, I haven't been able to find a whole lot on that.
I'm pretty sure Beowulf is a meme round.
I'm pretty sure it was too. I'm sure it looked good on paper, but it probably just didn't work out.
It exists, and they're really cheap, and that's all I'm going to say.
And the only real drawback I've seen for either of those is sometimes you do have to modify your AR-15 mag so it'll feed properly, file down the feed lips a little bit. Back on the shotguns, personally, I'd go with some type of semi-auto because it's going to be a lot faster. And those big bore rounds, those big slugs, ounce of lead going down range, you're going to want something to take some of that recoil out of it. Now, if we really want to go crazy and money's not an option for you, just say screw it and break out like a safari round, like 416 Rigby, 458 lot.
700 nitro for the really crazy mother hella.
800, yes.
Yeah, 800 grains in like a $20,000 rifle, but hey, whatever you're pointing at, it's going down.
And up and over there and over there and up there.
You pop a big foot like a grape.
And those safari round guys, if you don't know what you're doing, stay away from them. If they require a certain technique to use them properly, if you don't know what you're doing, you will get hurt by that rifle when it recoils. That's all I'm going to say about that.
We should get Kentucky Ballistics to come with us one time, just one time.
What's your thoughts on using a 50?
I also wouldn't, just because of how much those rifles weigh.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking. The weight is such a big factor.
Are you talking about a 50 BMG?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, the Barrett's like 32 pounds, something like that.
Yeah, wouldn't that be more of an Overwatch position?
Yeah.
I mean, they just released the 50 cal pistol.
Jeez.
Ow.
I value something called my health.
I've watched a guy one-handed. It's nothing. It's no big deal. Just be a man.
Wristbreaker 9000.
It's got a huge clamshell on the end of it. Just lift more.
Yeah, so like even the shotgun
fam.
The shotgun I plan on bringing, I want to say it's in the fully loaded, 7 rounds in a tube, 1 in chamber, 1 on the lifter, and 7 on the side saddle. I'd say it's getting up close to 10 pounds, and that's about the max for what I'd want to be lugging through the woods.
Goodness gracious.
The semi-auto Beretta, what do you really expect?
Now that we're all tismed out, let's go to the actual general just basics, and we're going to pass that on over to our good buddy Murphy.
Okay. what is your goal with the trip you're going on? Are you collecting scat? Are you taking photos? Do you just want to see whatever cryptid you're going after? You have to make a plan before you go, how it's going to work out. Where are you going? Not every state has every cryptid. Like, most states have Bigfoot. Some of them have Dogmen. And then the other states have weird like the Mothman. Alright, what time of year are you going? Like, some cryptids, some people see more in certain parts of the year. Like, does this cryptid migrate? Does it not come out much in the spring or in the summer? Is the, like, when, like, if it has a specific mating season, when is it? Like, before I mentioned where are you going? You have to be in a place that has had reports before, at least to start. How long is your trip? Is it 3 days? Is it a week? Is it 2 weeks? Is it 10 days? Is it a month? How are you getting there? Are you able, like, do you have to fly to another state? Can you drive there? Do you have to fly to another country? Um, is it on your buddy's property? How are you getting out? If you have to get out quick, do you have a way to get out of there quick? Do you know where you're going to keep your keys if you have to get out of there quick? We are going to try to hunt them. How are you going to get whatever you get out of the woods? Does the area have GPS, or do you need a physical map? I don't know why it wouldn't have GPS, but okay.
Thank you all for watching this show. Tune in next week where we still don't know.
And remember to go check out our coffee. We've got a gorgeous 3x5 flag on there for sale. We'll have more stuff soon, including stickers of all your favorite caked up cryptids. And
We're going to have awesome stickers for $1 a piece, y'all. That's right. $1 and you can get a super cool cryptid sticker, baby.
And if you really like what we're doing here and want us to improve like we do, you can pick up a membership. You can access the behind the scenes that gets uploaded and so much more.
You can catch most of my ramblings over there.
All right. Goodbye,
Don't let
everybody.
a duck in here.